I mean, from orientation on, like I remember just being like in this sort of awestruck state of like magic with the school. One of my roommates at the time, she had moved from Kentucky with me. We'd been friends and both had happened to apply to Naropa. And we kept joking, we kept calling it like Hogwarts, especially because she was in the Master of Divinity program. Like when we're telling people about it, we're like, yeah, it's like Hogwarts. And I think it re-inspired like the passion in me that I think I kind of lost for a little while, going through the motions of being at the first university that I was at, which was much more of a traditional, large university where you're kind of just a number and you show up, take the classes. If you don't follow the curriculum, you fail, and then you've wasted your time and money and you don't get your degree. And here it's not like that. It's a very communication-based sort of school, and the power behind the communication is that when you utilize it and when you take advantage of it, then you can start to create your life the way you want it to be. And I think for a long time, like I knew I wanted to be a performer and I knew I wanted to create art, but I thought that it had to be on the terms of the system that was already set. And being at Naropa has taught me that that's not the case. I can make things the way I want them. I just have to get my voice out there. I have to share that message and show people what I want to do with compassion and integrity and openness to others' needs and the system that is set, but knowing that I can communicate and change that system and help grow it. And I think that I'm kind of more just allowed to say whatever I want. There's an importance in the communication, and I think that being like fully honest about whatever it is you're experiencing or where you come from is important, and it's nice to have a safe place to share that. I spent a lot of time in my life only telling stories through performance, like on stage, and then in my like personal life, just being me, like I felt like people didn't want to hear about me. Like my stories weren't important, or I didn't have good enough stories, or I didn't know how to articulate them. There was just not any place for them. And now I feel like, not that I don't care what people think when I tell the stories, but I think as long as I'm enjoying telling the story and I'm feeling something out of it, that typically other people will too. Coming here was just like one of the best decisions that I ever made. It really feels like the stepping stone towards everything that I want to do, and I've seen more growth in myself than I've ever really noticed in my life. I've been exposed to so many new experiences, so many new people, and just sort of had this like veil lifted from my eyes.